Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into a transformative journey of discovering the power of your voice, not just through words, but through presence and energy. Our guest today, a renowned voice coach, has helped countless individuals harness this innate power. Welcome to the podcast series. First of all, how do you define a magnetic voice?
Thank you for having me. A magnetic voice transcends mere sound. It's about resonance. When your mind, heart, and spirit are aligned, your voice naturally draws people in. For example, consider Martin Luther King Jr. His speeches were powerful, not because he was loud, but because his conviction was palpable. But some argue that charisma is innate. What do you say to them?
That's a thought-provoking example. Many do believe charisma is something you either have or don't. However, there's mounting evidence suggesting that everyone can cultivate this through practice and awareness. Would you say this ability is accessible to anyone?
Absolutely. Like any skill, developing a magnetic voice requires patience and introspection. A Harvard study highlights that practicing mindfulness can enhance vocal presence significantly. By centering yourself, your voice reflects certainty. Take moments before speaking to anchor yourself. How can one begin this practice?
The idea of centering oneself is fascinating. It reminds me of actors who get into character by internalizing their roles. Perhaps we can discuss practical methods people can use to connect with this inner power the next time they speak. Transitioning from our last discussion, the real magic happens when you speak so energy listens, not just ears. Can you elaborate on how our energy impacts communication outcomes?
Certainly, energy is felt before a word is ever spoken. Imagine stepping into a room full of tension. You sense it immediately, right? A balanced energy conveys sincerity and openness. However, some might argue that focusing on energy could distract from the actual content. What would you say to that?
It's an understandable concern. Yet, studies validate that messages delivered with congruent energy are 30% more likely to engage an audience than those that solely focus on content. Could you share an instance where this principle made a difference?
Indeed, during a crisis negotiation, maintaining a calm yet firm energy shifted an escalating situation to a peaceful resolution. By aligning physically, emotionally, and mentally, the negotiator's energy diffused tension. Thinking forward, how can individuals incorporate energy alignment in everyday interactions?
That's a powerful anecdote. Developing self-awareness and emotional regulation can refine one's energy, essential skills for leaders and everyday interactions. A systematic approach to practicing these can enhance both personal and professional spheres. Now let's delve into how silence can lead to influence through the secret power of alignment. How does silence enhance our ability to influence others?
Silence speaks volumes. It's in these pauses that people reflect, absorb, and connect internally. Consider a musician's rest. It's as crucial as the notes they play. Critics argue that silence might imply uncertainty. How would you counter that viewpoint?
That's an intriguing perspective. Silence can indeed be a double-edged sword. However, research reveals that strategic pausing in speech increases perceived confidence by nearly 20%. What strategies would you suggest for effective use of silence in conversation?
It's about intention. Silence before responding shows you're truly listening. It aids in formulating thoughtful responses. A lawyer once told me their winning strategy involves pausing after vital points, allowing the jury to contemplate. Looking ahead, how might this reshape modern communication in digital spaces?
Excellent point. In digital communications, deliberate pauses during virtual meetings can prevent overwhelm and foster engagement, a practice that can redefine interaction norms. Finally, let's talk about speaking with soul, not struggle. Many people equate struggle with effort. How important is soulful expression in effective communication?
Soulful speaking cuts through the noise, reaching an audience on a human level. That's why storytelling is captivating. Oprah Winfrey, for instance, speaks from her experiences resonating deeply. Some might argue that professional settings require detachment. What's your take?
While professionalism has its place, incorporating authenticity fosters trust and relatability. McKinsey found that leaders perceived as genuine have higher team morale by 25%. What examples within corporate environments illustrate soulful communication?
In a tech company merger, an executive shared personal stories of past changes. His transparency turned anxiety into a collective excitement for the future. On a broader scale, how can we encourage soulful communication in traditional institutions?
That's inspiring. Encouraging leaders to share personal insights and align with core values can gradually shift organizational culture, promoting a more inclusive and compassionate workplace.